If you thought that roaring sound was a Ferrari F1 engine with its distinctive V12 sound, you're mistaken. Who would have guessed that the sound you just heard came from the six-cylinder inline engine of a Honda CBX produced from 78 to 82? Yes, you heard it right. The CBX engine produces a roaring sound almost identical to, or even the same as, a Ferrari V12 engine. So, how did Honda come up with this motorcycle engine? And has anyone modified this six-cylinder inline engine into a V12? Let's dive into the story in the following video. After Honda's success with the sport bike CB750, which ushered in a new era for street motorcycles with its four-cylinder inline configuration, other Japanese companies wanted to follow in Honda's footsteps in developing four-cylinder engines. To maintain its position as a leader in motorcycle innovation and technology, Honda decided to introduce something even more spectacular. With this background, Honda decided to launch the Honda CBX. This motorcycle became Honda's first mass-produced model with a six-cylinder engine using GP racing technology. Previously, in the 1960s, Honda had adopted a six-cylinder engine, but it was only used in racing, such as the Honda RC models, that dominated the racing world and won many championships in the 1960s. Driven by this ambition, Honda experts finally created a prototype six-cylinder inline engine with the following specifications: a DOHC 1047 cubic centimeter inline six engine with 24 valves and 6 Keihin carburetors, enabling the motorcycle to produce 105 horsepower at 9,000 revolutions per minute and 71 newton meters of torque at 6,500 revolutions per minute. Although this motorcycle weighs 274 kilograms, with a full fuel tank and ready to ride, it can still reach a top speed of 220 kilometers per hour and is known to complete a 1/4 mile run in under 12 seconds. Despite having a six-cylinder engine, Honda experts managed to design the engine block to be only 2 inches wider than the four-cylinder CB750 engine. A motor journalist named Leonard John Kensel Seatright even said, "Don't tell me that its engine is too wide. It is no wider than the legs of a rider, so it adds nothing to the frontal area. And personally, I would rather have my legs shielded by a cylinder apiece than exposed to every blow." Honda first introduced the CBX to the public in 1979 and received a positive response. However, Honda's hopes of achieving high sales were not met. Despite receiving great reviews and being praised as the fastest motorcycle available at that time, CBX sales did not meet Honda's expectations. The failure was not due to the design, but rather the impracticality of the motorcycle for everyday street use. With a top speed of 220 kilometers per hour, would anyone actually ride this motorcycle on public roads? Motorcycle riders generally prioritize functionality over sheer speed. Riders at the time noted that while the CBX could meet the need for speed, the speeds it could reach were largely illegal for street use. Additionally, the size and weight of the engine brought certain impracticalities. Nonetheless, Honda and classic motorcycle enthusiasts argued that the CBX was not about function but about form and innovation. This motorcycle was a work of art that pushed boundaries and opened the world's eyes to what a motorcycle could achieve. It's common for a manufacturer's underappreciated models at the time to become unique collector's items in the future. This also applies to the CBX, now sought after by collectors for its limitless innovation with its inline six-cylinder engine. Some people, still unsatisfied with the engine's power, have even modified it into a V12. One such person is Andreas Georgeades, a racer who has been competing since the age of 21 and has won several medals in various racing events. From the matchless 500 races, Isle of Man, World Champion race in Europe, to expert 500 in Canada. Not content with just racing, Andreas decided to pursue machining education to build motorcycles that matched his innovation and natural talent. Eventually, he decided to modify the CBX into this phenomenal 12-cylinder version. The work on the CBX V12 began by combining two CBX engine blocks into one, creating a V12 engine with a 60-degree angle. What's interesting about the CBX V12 project is that Andreas did not make initial sketches or designs. He only drew diagrams after completing something to explain how he did it.
Really?
The original DOHC 1047 cubic centimeter inline-six engine was modified into a V12 configuration with 48 valves. The carburation system consists of 12 intake manifolds, leading to 3 chokes of 3 Weber DCOE 45 carburetors, linked by an all-ball bearing suspended double-action full pushrod system. The front end of the motorcycle comes from a 1998 Yamaha YZF, while the rear wheel and brakes are from a 1998 Suzuki, and the transmission uses a CBX transmission. Due to the high heat generated by the CBX V12 engine, Andreas added a liquid cooling system to the motorcycle. Andreas built an extended base plate to accommodate the 2 welded engine blocks with a common 12 connecting rod crank. The exhaust system uses a 12-4 system distributed to 4 modified Yoshimura mufflers. The gas tank, frame, battery compartment, and seat are all designed and fabricated by Andreas with help from some of the finest welders in the San Diego area, while the machining work is done by Andreas himself. For the speed, according to Andreas, the motorcycle can reach speeds well beyond fear fast. When Andreas arrives at sidewalk cafes, he often gets the same questions, from Americans asking, "How much is it worth?" and from Europeans asking, "How fast will it go?" Andreas's standard answer for the European question is that its speed is well beyond fear fast. And when asked how many units of the CBX V12 will be made and how much it will cost, it seems Andreas never builds more than 1 unit of each motorcycle. Therefore, a predetermined schedule and budget would make it difficult to build multiple units. The CBX V12 is the 4th motorcycle he has built in 26 years. So the value of one of his creations is determined by what the market or an individual is willing to pay, should one of his motorcycles be available for sale. "He's done the impossible" is an apt phrase for Andreas and his creations. So that's the history of the Honda CBX, which became the fastest superbike in its class, and was street legal. Although public enthusiasm did not meet expectations, the legacy of this engine has inspired technicians to channel their skills into building more powerful engines. I hope this video has been informative for you, and see you in the next exciting video.